Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bubby Brister and Friends Fantasy Football Podcast presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I'm Billy. I'm here with Nick. Nick, how'd you do this week? How'd Tampa do?
This week is probably go down as arguably the lowest score we've ever had in fantasy. I'd probably put down the lowest score ever.
I saw that on Sunday, and I was like, did he leave like 3 guys in who didn't play? And I looked at it, I was like, nope, he fielded a full team.
Yep.
Did you break 50?
Nope, I did not break 50. That's crazy.
Who did worse, your team or...
I almost got outscored by my bench.
Who did worse, your team or Tampa? Because I thought Tampa was going to smoke the Broncos. I bet on them on FanDuel, and that did not happen.
My team did way worse than Tampa did. You know, Tampa's offense on Sunday was just they didn't play a lot of man beaters because Denver played man-to-man coverage, so they didn't play a lot of. They should have went West Coast and played man beaters, and they didn't do a lot of that. And then again, with the offensive line struggles of the right tackle not being there, Baker was under siege. And then, again, rookie quarterbacks. Todd Bowles has a terrible record against rookie quarterbacks. Rookie quarterbacks always torch him. Wow. That's how it always happens. It's true. You can look at it. Anytime he plays a rookie quarterback, he's in trouble. He has no film. And then they start running. And Bo Nix out there look like John Elway, just running and then throwing passes occasionally and this and third. He not do too much.
That's crazy. Usually defensive coaches eat up rookie quarterbacks. Like Tomlin destroys rookie quarterbacks. Cowher used to too.
Right. I mean, not Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles like, hey, if I have film on you, great. I know what to do with you. I have no film on you. Well, crap. You know what I mean? They're going to run for – and usually rookie quarterbacks, they tend to run on Tampa. That's the thing about it. They'll run a lot more. So the defense of Tampa last Sunday and Tampa that beat the Lions 2 weeks ago looked dramatically different. And we have better players on the field that week against on the Lions. So that's what's even crazier. So I don't know.
Who the Bucs got this week?
The Tampa Bay's playing against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I couldn't even tell you who the Commanders got, but we can start with them.
It's a banged up Philadelphia Eagles team too. They chances are won't have both their number 1, number 2 wide receivers. Dallas Goedert will probably be fed heavy. A lot of running. You know what I mean? And then Eagles defense is suspect. They just are. You know what I mean? So, and Hurts is not playing MVP ball.
Yeah, let's start with the NFC East here. Jayden Daniels pitched a perfect game last night for the Commanders. You can see I'm still riding high. I got my Commanders hat on.
You got to live that.
Monday Night Football against a preseason Super Bowl contender with their back against the wall. Daniels threw a perfect game, no turnovers, no punts, 21-23, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 carries, 39 yards on the ground. Are the Bears going to regret passing on Jayden Daniels someday?
The Bears? I don't think the Bears is a team that's regretting people. I think the Bears is fine. No, they're not going to regret. The answer is no.
You don't think they're going to be like, oh, man, we took Caleb Williams over Jayden Daniels. What have we done?
But I think Caleb Williams is a better thrower of the ball than Jayden Daniels is. Just Jayden Daniels is more athletic, so he has a little more. He could be more of a Swiss Army knife, throwing and everything else. Jayden Daniels will have a shorter career if he don't learn how to slide. I can tell you that.
Is he the best quarterback in the NFC East already?
Ooh, no. No.
You slot him in at third, though, right, ahead of Daniel Jones.
I think him and Daniel Jones are tied because Daniel Jones had a good game last Sunday. He had a good game.
He did. I traded for him and then dropped him right away, and then I watched him have a good game.
He realized that he has Malik Neighbors. Who Malik Neighbors? Maybe I might be on a limb, but I feel like Malik Neighbors is giving me Odell Beckham vibes. Highly athletic.
He might be better than Beckham.
Yeah, I mean, he's highly athletic. He's just not as fast as Odell, but he's like
stronger.
The ball gets in his. He's stronger. The ball, he has a great radius on catching the ball. You know what I mean? He has good sense for getting open. So it's like he gives me Odell
shifty.
vibes. He's shifty. Odell's just quick. and he'll cut and get the ball, and he could jump athletically out the gym and grab the ball no matter what. He had really large hands, so that's what it feels like. Odell Beckham, 1.3. You know what I mean? It's like it's different. You know what I mean? It's a little different, but this is a true number one.
I saw a bunch of neighbors in week 2 because they played the Commanders. Then for some reason he was all over the red zone early on Sunday, and yeah, I fell in love with him. It's hard for me to like New York Giants, and I was like, oh shit, this guy is awesome. This neighbor's kid is pretty fun to watch.
He's as I say, as advertised.
Number 1 too. He's got a cool jersey number.
Yeah, so it's like he's definitely riding high. So the Giants got something at least they could hang their hat on without Saquon doing what he does now in Philly. They had to have something to be happy about.
Justin Fields has the Steelers off to a 3-0 start while filling in for Russell Wilson. The Steelers have started 3-0 3 other times in the Tomlin era, so this is the 4th. They've gone to the playoffs each time. My question to you is, what should the Steelers do when Russell Wilson is given a clean bill of health?
He sits. He sits. You know what I mean? You start the guy that's actually winning for you. Keep the hot hand. Justin Fields, say what you want about him. He isn't making dynamic throws. He isn't. And he's not Ben Roethlisberger back there, okay? So let's just keep it a buck. But he's letting Pittsburgh play Pittsburgh ball. Great defense. TJ Watt is blowing the games up. He's just amazing player. And then you keep the game close. Ground and pound. And keep the game close. If Justin Fields is playing, he's not playing to lose the game. He's playing just to keep the game going. I mean, he had a 1 touchdown pass. He threw for like 15 yards, and then the receiver did the rest. I mean, what if he did? It's easy money.
Yeah, the coaches have set him up to succeed. I'm a huge Justin Fields fan. I don't even know really why. He's so much fun to watch. He's like Michael Vick to me without the dogfighting and right-handed. I wanted the Commanders to trade for Fields and draft Daniels. I'm a believer in if you need a quarterback, you do everything you can to get one. That's why I love the Kirk Cousins and Penix move so much by the Falcons. When the Seahawks drafted Russell Wilson, they also signed Tarvaris Jackson as a free agent, who was like a hot free agent at the time. They also traded for Matt Flynn, who was a hot backup at the time. Like, if you need a quarterback, you need to just turn over stones to get one. I wanted the Commanders to trade for Fields. Would you be surprised if the Steelers traded Russell Wilson to like the Dolphins or the Raiders?
No. I mean, the only way I can see them getting traded, this season right here, is if they give him like a 3rd-round draft pick. The team's like, we'll offer you a 3rd to have Russell. And no team's going to do that. Because Russell's like, he's pretty much on Denver's payroll this year, so he's free money. And all the analogies you gave, all of them made sense to me except the Falcons one, because the Falcons one with Kirk Cousins and Penix, they pay Kirk Cousins a lot of money. And that money's 3 years guaranteed fully. So it's like you have to use them, and even if you sit them, you can't have that quarterback on the bench like that. And Kirk Cousins right now, he's a shell of himself. You could tell. You know
right,
what I mean?
And that's why. So for I don't know, at least 5 years, maybe even more, all I've ever heard is Kirk Cousins sucks. Kirk Cousins sucks, and Kirk Cousins does suck, but he does put up numbers, and the Falcons aren't paying anybody else on their roster. You have to spend that money to get to the cap. Like,
but that's the thing about it, though. They could have spent that money on other players to help make a difference. Instead,
why though? Because Cousins sucks. Like,
but think about it was all right. So I'm not saying Kirk Cousins sucks. All right, Kirk Cousins has always been a serviceable. He's a serviceable quarterback. I would think of what's that one guy that was the Minnesota Vikings quarterback, and he took him to the NFC Championship game, and then he got like
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. There you go. He's a step above Case Keenum, right? You know what I mean? That's why I look at him, right? And so he's a good starter, locker room guy. This and third. The problem is that Achilles, you could tell he is not throwing properly with that. And that's used to be his thing. That's his bread and butter. So with all that being said, I think they should have not gone so deep on that and maybe got somebody a little more cheaper, and they could spend that money somewhere else, upgrading their linebacking core, getting actual pass rushers. They have no pass rushers. You know what I mean? Other than they have Judon, who's coming off an injury, so they traded for him, but they could have picked up one. They could picked up a good corner. They picked up They picked up the free safety who Simmons, who seems to like always be cast off every year. He's just disrespected every year. He's one of the best free safeties in the league, but then has to find a team free agency in August every year because no one wants him.
I'll grant you that giving Cousins that much money does reek of desperation, and if they would have been smart, they probably would have signed a Darnold or a Fields or even a Russell Wilson. But
Darnold looks crazy.
Like, if you're that desperate, like I said, like they wanted to raise the floor. They stared into the abyss after Matt Ryan left, and they were like, we got to do anything we can. The Kirk Cousins thing is really only a 2-year deal, so they'll probably play him this year. Next year, he'll probably start the year and be benched by like week 7 or something, and Penix will then play, and then they'll cut him, and no one will really care, as long as Penix, wins. But right. Yeah, I like it, but we're going to talk about this probably till that happens. Last one before we get into the box scores. This past weekend, there were 6 0-2 teams that got their first wins of the season, leaving only 3 winless teams: Tennessee, Jacksonville, and Cincinnati. Which team is in the worst spot, and why is it Jacksonville?
Well, because I feel like with Jacksonville, I'm just a feelings guy, all right? And his feeling is that the coach in Jacksonville, dead man walking. This is how it felt like when he was in Philly. Hey, man, good times, good vibes. Year 3 rolls around. Ooh, the roads are getting icy. Things are not looking good. I would argue that maybe Tennessee's the worst team, though.
Yeah, Tennessee's in a worse spot, but
dude, that quarterback, man, he can't. He just loves turning the ball over. He just can't stop. And Will Levis already is not an accurate guy, so it's. I swear, Will Levis and Anthony Richardson are the 2 least inaccurate quarterbacks in the league. Just, was it Nick Wright said that Anthony Richardson reminds you of your little brother playing Madden. He throws deep passes. He completes all the deep passes, whatever, while the short passes are all interceptions.
Levis is on pace to be sacked like 85 times, which would be a record if Deshaun Watson weren't on pace to be sacked 91 times, which is hilarious. Yeah, Tennessee's in a worse spot, but you went straight to the Jacksonville head coach being dead man walking. That's why Jacksonville is worse off, because Peterson's going to get fired if they don't fix this soon. And Trevor Lawrence is not showing any improvement. He's getting paid $55 million this season. This guy threw an interception to a guy who died last night, in DeMar Hamlin. The Titans can move off of Levis.
Do you understand the money Jacksonville in the last 3 years spent in free agency for their team to look like this year? Evan Ingram hurt. He turned to a pumpkin. We know who he is. Christian Kirk, we've never believed in him. We just never have. You know what I mean? Trying to pass him off to number 1. Who do you think he is? Antonio Brown? You know what I mean? They had the one guy from Atlanta. Forgot his name. Ridley. But they gave up on Ridley.
Ridley.
They gave up on him too fast, you know what I mean, when they could have brought him back, because he needed 1 year. He sat out a year, so he needed a year to get back going, you know what I mean? And this year, he's a hell of a lot better than he was last year. But, they gave him on too fast. The running backs can't get going. They have no offensive line, really. They have no corners. Their linebacking core is nothing happening. And then T-Law, who was this person? T-Law turned into Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? Like, what happened? Like,
he wishes.
Fact.
Yeah, Lawrence is not fun to watch. I had the Bills-Jaguars game on my iPad last night after the Commanders game started, and every time I looked over, it just looked like they were getting beat with a hose.
You understand? Trevor Lawrence just got paid, too. He just got a contract.
$55 million.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing. That's
whoever put the Jags on Monday Night Football should be fired.
The idea that I don't understand why they did double Monday Night Football games anyway this week. Like, what the hell's that? You do that first week of football.
Yeah,
That's what we're jonesing for. We need that release of football that weekend, and then you give us a third week. Here's double football Monday night. What the hell?
yeah, or put a game Friday or Saturday even. Like, who cares anymore?
A Friday game would be all right. Saturday is too much. It's just too much college. College players would freak out. Hey, I'm not a big college football fan either. However, money's money.
I hate college. I'd rather watch a indoor football league than college, which I have watched on YouTube before. It's great. All right, let's get into these box scores. Sadly, we'll start with my game. I got my ass kicked. Smash Hawk is running a program over there. He's the defending champion. He's the only undefeated team left in the league at 3-0. He has scored 544 points on the season. No one else is even into 500. The closest is me at 461. He's also had the least amount of points scored against him at 332. Oh, no, that's not true. Spawn has 287. But Smash Hawk is second at 332. So he is, not only is he kicking ass, he's getting great matchups every week. I did not deliver this week in a matchup of the top two teams. This was a 207 to 112 win for Smash Hawk. I had Jawan Jennings in my lineup all week, and I benched him on Saturday after I made a trade. That was not smart because Jennings had one of the best fantasy days of the season with 3 touchdowns, 11 catches, and 175 yards. I wouldn't have won anyway, but that looks bad.
Jawan Jennings was drawing comparisons of, like, people were saying that this guy is like Jerry Rice coming back. You know what I mean? Like, everybody was like really high up on him out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And he's always kind of shown he could do it. But I mean, we did not with this clip 3 touchdowns, because now you're wondering where the hell's Brandon Ayuk at, Mr. Contract, sitting out for a contract. What the hell?
Yeah, he got worked. That's a good point. And same with Debo. Yeah, I was surprised I got him on waivers because I had a low waiver claim. He's definitely in my lineup until Debo comes back. I got 37 from Daniels, 3 touchdowns. We already talked about him. I bought Devon Achane in like every league, and without Tua, that is a falling fast stock. The Dolphins are fucked without Tua. I wanted Zamir White at the draft pretty bad. I targeted him going in. So I saw this opportunity to make a trade with Freeman where I traded Zach Moss, who I just kind of took when I didn't get Zamir White 2 rounds later. I actually looked at the draft after I made the trade because I knew I wanted Zamir White. So I was like, well, where did I miss him at? I took Chris Godwin with the pick that I got sniped on. So that worked out pretty good for me. But I traded Zach Moss and Sam Darnold for Daniel Jones and Zamir White, and that looks like a bad trade.
How do you feel about your CD Lamb? How do you feel about him long term?
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with it. He's a notoriously slow starter. So are the Cowboys. I think like his floor is going to be good all year. Even if he doesn't have a huge year, he's still going to have it's going to take a lot for him to have a bad season, I think. Like, at worst, I think he's like a 1,100-yard, 5-touchdown guy. You know what I mean? Which is still decent.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not worried about him. Chris Godwin, 17, 6 catches, 53 touchdown. He is the number 3 ranked receiver. Brian Robinson had another touchdown this week. He's been good. Jake Elliott, I'm done with. I almost rage dropped him this morning. He's getting cut in the waivers hopefully tonight. I wisely benched the Texans coach at the last minute because they got smoked by the Vikings.
Yes, they did. Yeah. I mean, it's a bad look. It's a bad time. You know what I mean? But again, if your opponent scores 207 points, if you score 200 in our league, we've noticed that you have a 99.9% chance of winning. I'm pretty sure we could probably look at our history books and find like a loss of like 205 to 201. We've probably had something like that, or like 200 to 187. Like, we've seen those. But if you score 200, yeah, you got high points. You won automatically. It's just, you're not winning. It's just ridiculous. You overshot every projection.
Yeah, losing like this is almost better sometimes. Like,
Yes.
because once the projections were in early and I saw I was gonna get worked, I didn't even really care that I left Jennings on the bench too much because it wouldn't have
even
mattered.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it'll only hurt me at the end of the season in total points.
Right now, Kyron Williams, Alvin Kamara, and Rice for Kansas City are absolutely cooking right now, and fantasy wise. Rice is turning into Travis Kelce. These Travis Kelce numbers that he used to get, and now Rice is getting all of them. Alvin Kamara just seems to do all this without getting 100 yards, which is crazy. And Kyron Williams, I don't know if he can keep doing that. I don't know the long-term longevity on this. He's doing some bell cow stuff, and he was bell cow last year. So I think Sean McVay is trying to work him into the dirt. I don't know. Dallas
Enjoy
Goedert,
it while it lasts.
Right. Dallas Goedert, 10 catches for 170. He had the highest yardage of the week. That is not normal. Okay? So that's a thing that won't happen all the time. Jets defense absolutely just blanketed New England, which had them questioning the new head coach. Is he going to move to Drake May right now? And for real, I think he should move to Drake May. Why not? I don't know why you're going to wait. Jacoby is not the long-term answer. You know that. He knows that. He's never been a long-term answer. He's used to this.
I'd wait a couple more weeks, but you're not wrong. One last note for Smash Hawk from me is he scored 207 without AJ Brown.
Yeah. Yes. It helps when your fantasy special teams gives you 50 points. No, 50 points even. That's crazy.
50-8.
His fantasy special teams outscored my team.
Yeah, we'll get to you. Not next, though. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Punishers versus Mile High Salute. Hine versus Brandon. Hine took this one. Lamar Jackson, 31 points. ATN, 15 points. Derrick Henry, finally, the Ravens were like, oh, we should give this guy the ball. 40 points, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard is a thing. I mentioned him last week.
Yeah,
I did not see that coming.
Well, he became a thing now because the quarterback switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have a professional quarterback.
But again, hey, Andy Dalton, temper expectations, Chuba Hubbard, and buying stock on Carolina Panthers wide receivers because Andy Dalton will turn to a pumpkin when they start figuring out what the offense he's in and how he's doing it. He's much older. This is not 2016.
Right. I don't really see anything else for Tampa Bay here. Terry McLaurin had a big game on the bench.
Green Bay defense, 28 points. That's well spoken of. Green Bay definitely showed out, plays Tennessee. I think anybody who sees Tennessee on their schedule, they're going to start a defense against them because you get yourself a pick six, 2 picks, a forced fumble. These are just points. These are free points. That is just.
When you look at Mile High Salute, the top half of their lineup looks great. 25 from Fields, 34 from Taylor, 21 from Cook, 19 from Diggs, 20 from Metcalf. Even 7 from Freiermuth is decent. 10 from Pickens, so a lot of double digits there. But then you get into the special teams, and he got... Well, I don't even know how to do this math. What is that? -3?
It's, no, it's -6.
Yeah, he got outscored 53 to -6 on the special teams.
Sorry, -7. No, it's negative... Damn, what the hell is it? It's like...
I can't do it either.
No, it's
-8.
Yeah, it's -8.
Yeah, not good.
-8.
Deontay Johnson showed some life on the bench, though, so he can start using him with Dalton.
Again, yeah.
8 catches, 122, and a touchdown.
Yeah, you can use him until he turns to a pumpkin. I'm concerned about Justin Herbert. He's
drop.
It just, dude, I don't... Come on, man. The Chargers are better, but now you just took this Ferrari... And you took a Ferrari and you took the wheels off it, and then you just took the engine out. You swapped it for like a hybrid, and you're just like, all right, we're just gonna be efficient. I'm like, fuck this, man. You have Herbert, man. Chuck that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I know now seeing Jayden Daniels. So for years, Commanders fans were like ruining the day they took Chase Young over Justin Herbert. But now seeing Jayden Daniels, I'm glad they did. It took a couple years to work out, but here we are. Justin Herbert's injured and playing like Taylor Heineke. I mean, Herbert has not been good, especially fantasy wise.
Long term, just think about it like his running back situation. I have Justin Taylor and Cook in another league as my starting running backs, which is hilarious. But Stephon Diggs, man, he's very animated on the sidelines for the Texans. You know what I mean? He's the old man, but he's super animated out there. I don't know how this situation is going to work because he's eating Tank Dell like targets that Tank Dell is better right now in his
and
career.
Dell
Tank
got
Dell's
shot.
better. Yeah, so it's like, dude, come on now. But I think Mile High has sunnier days in the future because Cook is definitely shown to be the real deal. So that's very good. Another thing about Tampa Bay, whatever, Terry McLaurin actually had something happen. So, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? He held out for him.
Jayden Daniels is going to bring him back to life. So, Mile High Salute has lost 2 in a row after starting 1-0. They're 1-2. Our next game, Dead Money, falls to 0-3. Renegades of Funk is 1-2. Both teams were 0-2 coming into this. The two worst teams in the league, and they had a pillow fight here. 113 to 107. Neither team deserved to win. Freeman got 7 points from Anthony Richardson. We called this out in week 1, even though he put up a big number in points. With 9 completions was a red flag, and that flag is on fire now.
I've told you. I just don't. Look, I'm that guy. I'm saying like quarterbacks should be completing passes. Only quarterback to get away with like completing 12 passes a game is Lamar Jackson. That's it. Because Lamar will complete 12 passes, but he'll run the ball 9 times for 90 yards. So that's it. You know what I mean? Like the Ravens are running for 200 yards a game, and he's handcuffed as Derrick Henry, which is crazy. Not a wide receiver. Anthony Richardson's not running the ball, which he could, but he throws deep. He can't complete short passes. He had a terrible red zone interception. Terrible. He threw it into double coverage, and like. The dude, he just got the wide receiver. The cornerback was shocked the ball went to him.
And somehow, when Lamar Jackson does only complete 12 passes, it's for like 250 yards, not the 167 that Richardson got here.
Right.
Tony Pollard was held to 14 yards. He's gonna have some tough days ahead in that Tennessee offense. Zach Charbonnet, though, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Shout out. See, I was talking about him. I was like, man, I thought he was gonna be the starter. Well, maybe this is time that maybe Kenneth Walker might get usurped because he got hurt.
So that's pretty bad. He has Charbonnet, which he's been performing like a first-round drafted running back, and he's still 0-3. Tyreek Hill is. Would you trade Tyreek Hill? I would try to.
For who? For what? I mean,
I don't know. Do you just try and sell the name value? I think before anybody really notices that like he's totally screwed.
Because I mean, the quarterback situation in Miami is a toss-up. Because Tua's out till when?
Forever.
You know what I mean? He might not play at all. So then they are not bringing in anybody off the street. Like, and they can't even the quality people to bring off the street. They're not even bringing in. If I'm Miami, I'm making a call right now to the Cleveland Browns for Jameis Winston.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Jameis Winston would be fun. He'd be fun in the offense right there. Because you need somebody who could throw the ball. Jameis could throw it. He ain't scared to throw the ball, man.
They might need to play him.
They might have to. Right. That's the reason why they probably won't trade him because they have to play him.
Dead Money in his loss. Harrison had another good game. Olave scored his first touchdown, 6 catches, 86 yards.
He showed up, yeah.
If Freeman sits a head coach or gets a winning head coach, he wins this game, so that's always tough.
Yeah. That's the part that sucks. Because Cleveland, you're expecting Cleveland to beat the Giants, but then the Giants actually showed up. So.
Yeah. And if he traded, I just said that trade where he got Moss and Darnold, he played neither of them, and if he had, they gave him a combined 57 points on the bench. If he played either, this loss is all on Freeman. Is I guess what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't even blame like the bounces of fantasy football.
Yeah, Zach Moss. You have well over 50 points. You have well over 50 points between two people that you could easily slot in. But the Zach Moss just even in you could have Olave actually starting over Tyreek Hill because I would have trusted Tyreek Hill with the back quarterback, and then maybe threw in other guy in there, or I'd have had Tyreek at flex. I can't trust, Tyreek Hill as my starting number one.
Not too much for Renegades of Funk here. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 20. DJ Moore had 15. Steelers defense 19. Winning head coach with the Lions beating the Cardinals. Purdy had 37 on the bench. You got anything else in this one? 3 touchdowns for Purdy.
3 touchdowns for Purdy. DJ Moore showed up. He actually had a decent game. So it's the Chicago Bears. This awesome this team Chicago's supposed to be is beginning to wake up a little bit. Devontae Adams, man, 4 for 40. It's like watching. It's just sad. It reminds me of Randy Moss when he went to Oakland. It's just sad times.
So here we are now. Buck, what you think versus Spawn, 164 to 48. That you heard that correctly.
You heard that correctly. Yes.
What's crazy is you had 3 double-digit guys in your top 3. So right there, 28. 42 of your 48 were from your top 3 guys.
Oh, man. It was weird because going into this game, my team was projected to do better because he got hit by the injury bug, straight up.
Yeah.
His team was wrecked by injury. So I was like, all right. So that means my team has a good chance to actually do something. And then, no. It just absolutely no one showed up. I was already suspect with Mike Evans starting him against Patrick Surtain, for real. But, yeah.
You got to do it.
Ridley, 1 for 9. Jeez. You know what I mean? Mark Andrews, 0. It's like, I'm having a really bad time. I'm having a really bad time right now with that. White and Tampa Bay.
I'll trade you Jasicki.
They're on the same level. Dobbs came back down to earth a little bit. He's had a couple hot weeks. Came back down to earth with 14 points. Ford with 13. Baker had a bad game.
14 still respectable. Your big problem running back wise is Rachaad White. How worried are you on a scale of 1 to oh shit?
I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned
because remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
We named him the 2023 league MVP last year. He was the driver behind Smash Hawk's run, and he's only had 35 yards in his last 2 weeks, 16 carries, only 15 combined points the last 2 weeks. He didn't have one game that bad last year, let alone 2 in a row, let alone this early. And now he's got Bucky Irving breathing down his neck.
Yeah, Bucky Irving's running the ball. He's a little bit quicker, a little bit shiftier, so he makes moves out in the open like that, where the Rachaad White, it's when he runs the ball, he gets collapsed immediately. Definitely hurt. I have Rashid Shaheed on my bench. 0 targets, 0 yards. Remember I said last time I was like, hey, I'm not buying the stock on him yet because it's kind of he's more feast or famine. This is the famine. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, I didn't play them because they play against New England, and more likely I didn't trust Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers has not shown us 25 points plus at all ever in a long time. And then Garrett Wilson, this is the first game he's had 9 targets. So maybe next week I'm not going to start him because he's going against Patrick Surtain, so that's just no. But after that, Garrett Wilson will be an automatic starter for me because just the rest of the schedule won't have a corner as tough as that. And maybe Aaron Rodgers figured it out.
I just offered you a trade for Rashid Shaheed in real time as we were speaking.
No. I just got
I'll let you look at it. To Spawn, like you said, he was without Kenneth Walker, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Joe Mixon. I mean, those are heavy hitters. He still, not only did he win, he scored 164. Joe Burrow, 3 touchdowns, 324 yards, 35 points. Singletary, 65 yards, touchdown, 24 points. He did fumble. Bucky Irving, he started. Bucky Irving outscored Rashard White in this game. That's not good. Justin Jefferson, 6 for 81, touchdown. Reports of his demise were greatly exaggerated. Even Alan Lazard scored a touchdown. Cole Kmet, who spawned, drafted, dropped, and had to pick up with Kittle out, 25 points, 10 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, there's nothing else here. You got you can't be bad this next week though.
Yeah, that Cole Kmet one is just an anomaly because he's not getting 10 catches for 97 yards in that offense. He's just not. So that happened. That's an anomaly. But it played out for him, man. That's one of them, like, you roll the dice and it hits.
Yeah.
I think he dropped Dobbs. So Dobbs, I think he dropped Dobbs. He's done with Dobbs now. Because I think he's going to try to pull Mixon off the IR more likely. But just Justin Jefferson, great receivers find a way to make plays, and that's what he's been doing.
On to the next one. So you fell to 1-2. You've also lost 2 in a row. Spawn has won 2 in a row after starting 0-1. Next one is Jordan versus Slade. New Day Co-op. Slade wins his second in a row, 131 to 105. James Conner with a dud, only 4 points, 17 yards. Jordan Mason, another good game. I mentioned this on my solo episode last week that I kind of went out on a limb saying he was going to be a breakout player. And it looks like McCaffrey's going to miss way more time than originally thought after week 1. Are you buying my breakout hype now?
I'm not, but I'm not buying it. Sorry.
That's fair.
I'm not buying it yet. It's a long season for him to try to survive. McCaffrey, though, this McCaffrey situation is getting concerning because he's number 1 draft pick in majority of court. He's at least top 3 in majority of leagues and everybody.
He burned me 2 years in a row in 2 different leagues, and he's on my do not draft list now. Even if he fell to me in like the second round, I don't think I could do it ever again. And this is why.
Because this might be, if maybe I'm gonna jump on a limb and say if we're at week 8 and he ain't playing yet, his career might be in trouble because he's a guy that's very fragile. Do you have this going on? He's injured, and he was on the cover of Madden. This is a Madden curse situation. We're in Madden curse territory where now people drafted him to be a scrub, and now everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. And San Francisco, if Jordan Mason has a bad game, he's gonna swap somebody in. He loves running backs.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan wisely picked up Mason when McCaffrey was ruled out. Mason is the 7th ranked running back already. He's had 67 carries in 3 weeks. So
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. This isn't 1995 anymore.
No, it's not.
T. Higgins finally played, only 6 points.
First game, not bad.
Yeah. Kelsey is very worrisome for him. What do you think?
Kelsey is very worrisome because Kelsey is, but it's not worrisome because he has Dalton Kincaid as a handcuff. So it's like if Kelsey can't go, he'll run Dalton Kincaid. The problem is that his bench is looking scarce. There's nobody
one bench
really,
point.
You know what I mean? It's looking real scarce, and a bunch of who's. It's a bunch of Jags out there. James Conner 4 points is troublesome because he's usually very consistent, 15 or more. And Arizona, they run the ball fairly well. For him to just get 17 yards is troublesome.
Yeah, I think that's just a bad matchup for him this week. To New Day, 17. New Day has quarterback problems between Cousins and Lawrence. They combined for 32 points between the two of them. Breece Hall, 23 points. Josh Jacobs, not a good game, 9 points. How's he doing this year? Okay, just a bad week, I think. Green Bay had some young running back put up some numbers this week too. I don't even know his name. It's like Emmanuel Wilson or something like that.
Yeah. It's troublesome there because it's Josh Jacobs. His value is being a bell cow, and they're not gonna let him be a bell cow, and he gets better as the game goes on. Yeah. Almost like Derrick Henry does. So you can't just be like, here's 10 carries, work with 10 carries. Like he needs like 15 to 20. So it's weird.
Yeah, 131 was enough to get it done this week. Now we're on to Lionheart versus Jones, 118-92. Lionheart is 2-1, 2-game winning streak. Jones didn't break 100. Ramondre Stevenson 2 points. That's up there with like the James Conner dud of the week.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't really work there. Jamar Chase showed up, 29 points. Najee Harris is putting along, he's very consistent. He's not gonna give you amazing stats, but Najee's doing what he does. Yeah.
Michael Pittman has to be one of the worst busts of the year so far. 68th ranked. I know and that's saying a lot because he wasn't even that hyped coming into the season. Where did he draft him? I bet it was like in the 50s. Oh, it was 24th, so that's even worse than I thought.
But
he's just been abysmal.
But then again, that's buying the hype that Richardson was going to be this great quarterback. So if you bought into it, you're going to get burned on it. The Mostert pick was crazy because like Mostert's just there, and he ain't getting no carries. He's a healthy scratch. A-Chain is eating up all the carries. It's just
no Tua.
That sucks. You know what I mean? Njoku, again, a quality tight end. He's not getting any passes. It's a tough time. I see the dream that he's trying to have for his team. It's not coming to fruition. You know what I mean? Where people like Landon Conkley is getting 3 for 44.
Right, yeah. Playing McConkey or whatever his name is. What's his name? Yeah, McConkey. Playing him over DeAndre Hopkins is definitely a choice. That I understand. I kind of slammed DeAndre Hopkins last week, but he's not dead yet. 6 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown on the bench. You know who is dead, though? Ezekiel Elliott, 6 yards, 1 point. Go the fuck home. You're done. 9 carries for 22 yards the last 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
At least he didn't play him. Brindle did not play his head coach. That was wise. He could probably drop the Miami head coach without Tua. That's not a head coach you want. All his points came from his top 4 spots: Goff, Gibbs, Montgomery, and Neighbors.
Yep. That's where you kind of want your fantasy team to really pay off. Your running back 1, 2, and wide receiver 1 and 2. You want them to pay off. Very concerned about J-Mo. J-Mo here in Detroit, 1 for 9 yards. Everybody was like, "Oh, this guy is so great." And I was like, "I don't know about him, man. I bought him last year and I held him and I was like nurtured him and I tried to be like, hey man, you got this, and he did not have it. And I'm like, I don't trust him this year. Sam Laporta injured. He actually had some targets, but again, Sam Laporta's having a really down year after he was your darling last year.
Yeah, I loved him. Yeah, that was fun. To J-Mo, I wasn't down on him coming into the season. I wasn't really anything on him. I took chances on him last year as well. Yeah, that didn't pay off. The problem with him is 11 catches on 23 targets. You know what I mean? Like that's less than 50% catch rate.
Right. Analytically, their quarterback's not going to go to you.
So that brings us to our last matchup. Sweetness 34, Heater, got off the schneid. He was 0-2. He's now 1-2. Art falls to 1-2 with his second straight loss. This was probably the game of the week, I'd say, in terms of closeness and like high scoring, 178 to 162. Josh Allen, 43 points, 4 touchdowns. He's a beast. He somehow he's underrated and overrated at the same time.
I think he's underrated because you see what he's doing right now. He's doing really good, man. So you can't hate on it. He's overrated because you see 4 touchdowns. We're expecting to see like 330, 350. We're expecting to see like, and his numbers are just pedestrian numbers. So it's like, but they're efficient touchdowns. And he's playing, and you got to his hat. He's playing with like his receiving core aren't great. You know what I mean? They're great. They're not. They're good, but they're not.
No
great.
names. They're no names.
You know what I mean? He has a rookie out there, and a bunch of like cast-offs. Mac Hollins from the Raiders, and this. So it's like, you know what I mean? A bunch of cast-offs out there making it work, and then again, they're working the ground game, and their defense is going back to just trying to play harder defense out there, and they play against Jacksonville, which is arguably one of the worst teams in the league now.
Do you remember the old NBA player? I'm sure you collected hoops cards back in the day. Tree Rollins.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tree.
That's
Yeah,
who.
yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I see Mac Hollins, I want to call him Tree Hollins.
Tree Hollins. Other things
Uh,
though, Amari Cooper, 2 touchdowns. So Amari is showing his value there.
yeah, he won't quit.
Devontae Smith being injured is concerning because he is a very what's the one I use word slender man. So like he getting banged up and it's a problem. Rome Aduje.
Concussion.
Yeah, Rome Aduje 6 for 112. That's really good.
It's a breakout.
That's a breakout game right there. And then he had C. Williams on the bench there. He had the actual quarterback on the bench, whatever. I didn't even know he threw for 363 yards. That's crazy, though.
Yeah, but he threw like 50-some passes. That's why Daniels is so good. Not to slurp him some more, but the Commanders are just being very smart. Like they're making every throw count, while the Bears are just kind of throwing Williams to the Wolves every week.
His offensive line's trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're stealing the wins. Dak Prescott, 379, 3 touchdowns. Total touchdowns.
A lot of that in garbage time, though.
Yeah, we've seen this show from him before. Dak Prescott is the king of empty calories. Oh, I'm getting blasted. Here we go. 400 yards throwing. 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Like, he will give you some empty calories, and it's just crazy.
Diet Dak Prescott.
Diet Dak Prescott. Saquon Barkley, 38 points.
Woo!
He's the real deal. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. That touchdown. Let me tell you something. He's
a league winner.
He's a league guy. Like he's stealing the wins in the Super Bowl this year. Saquon's his MVP, most important player, because he is a cut above when it comes to running backs. He looks different than all the other ones.
Right, he's basically like old school LaDainian Tomlinson right now. We'll see if he can keep it up. He's been injured throughout his career, but he's scored 40, 25, and 38 so far.
Yeah. Drake London, 6 for 67, a touchdown. He got that touchdown late.
2 good weeks in a row.
He got that touchdown late. But concerning time is Waddle, his quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he might be droppable, honestly.
And Kyle Pitts. Because, again, now you have a quarterback, Kyle. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Are you buying stock in Kyle Pitts, man?
I would, but low. Like, I never liked Pitts, even those, 2 years he was overhyped going into fantasy drafts. I just didn't buy it. And, but now I feel like he's fallen to the middle of the pack to where I would buy it and not be unsurprised whether he did or didn't put up numbers. So, but he drafted him 65th. I would be expecting more from him if I drafted him 65th. I punted on tight end super late. I didn't draft my number 1 tight end until Brock Bowers. I took him 120th. So,
and I drafted high because I always do that, and I suck at tight end later in the year. So I drafted one high, and now my tight end sucks still. Austin Eckler concussion
unless you trade
protocol.
for Gesicki.
He'll still suck.
Yeah, Eckler concussion not good. Especially for the Commanders, they need a veteran in the huddle. So that sucks. I wouldn't count on him being able to play next week. Aaron Jones, 102 yards, a touchdown. He's a big reason why the Vikings are kicking ass. Yeah, tough loss here for stealing the wins. I really don't have anything else for Freeman or for Heater. He got Ferguson back, 6 catches, 95 yards.
I want to give a shout out here. I don't know if Heater listened to the podcast at all, but I did see a post on the Facebook where my man is he's mentoring a young man who got in a car accident and he had to be amputated. His leg got to be amputated. He wants to be a fireman, and his mom reached out to him, and I saw the newspaper article that he actually he actually represents Suffolk and went to see the kid and trying to mentor the kid through his hard times. You know what I mean? Shout out to Heater, man. I've known it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shows real maturity to do that.
Yeah, we knew him as a kid. Did I tell you I went to the Admirals game. It's not uncommon for me to go to the Admirals games by myself. I go to the Admirals game. I go up to the top of the arena where I sit sometimes, and I get a text, It's me. It's a picture of me, like by myself, wandering around the upper deck, and it just says, "Is this you?" And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Is
And
this you?
it's Heater. Heater's like a couple rows in front of me, and I went and watched the game with him. So that was pretty cool to see him. This was just last winter.
That's some really creepy shit right there. Is this you?
Yeah,
oh my god, who do you know me?
Who knows
he
me?
creeped me out, but it was good seeing him. Like you said, we've known him forever. We knew him when he was literally a kid.
Yeah.
He shared with me he did a news piece on WTKR about being the first amputee firefighter in Suffolk history.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Good win for Heater. That's it. So let's go over the standings real quick. You got the Hall of Famer this week. We didn't do one last week. The standings are Smash Hawk 3-0. Then we have 6 2-1 teams, 6 1-2 teams, and then Freeman.
Jeez. And then Freeman.
Smash Hawk has an 87% playoff chance already. No one else is above 69. Oh, who's your player of the week? I know who it's not. It's not Jawan Jennings, because you have to be in someone's lineup to be player of the week.
Fair enough. So, the player of the week will be Sam Darnold. You know,
He didn't play. He wasn't in the lineup.
Ah, crap! No one started him. That's crazy. All right, I'll do the Rams running back then.
It's got to be Kyron Williams.
Yeah, Kyron Williams. You know, what I mean, because if you'd told me the way the Rams played last week, and then they show up this week and they beat the Niners, no, that would have been it. This season is going to be crazy because trying to figure out how it's all going to play out is kind of crazy because teams that should win games are losing games and whatnot. I mean, yeah.
I was going to pick someone from Spawn Team, but that really doesn't matter because you only scored 48 points, so like it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
So then I was going to pick Malik Neighbors, 27 and 2 touchdowns. He went toe-to-toe against Jamar Chase, but I'm going to go with Josh Allen. Freeman, Heater needed every point to win that game that we just talked about, and then we slurped Heater's journey. So we'll give it to Josh Allen. Who's your Fantasy Hall of Famer? And then we'll get out of here.
All right, so my fantasy, I won't take too much long here with this. Fantasy Hall of Famer this week will be Roddy White from the Atlanta Falcons. My man played, he's actually 42. He played at UAB. He's a first-round draft pick.
Which does not have a football program anymore.
Correct. So he played there. He played his entire 10-year career as Atlanta Falcon. He played nowhere else. If you remember him, he was the guy when Michael Vick was there. He dropped all Michael Vick's passes. But when Matt Ryan showed up, he did learn how to catch. He did retire with over 10,000 yards receiving, 808 receptions, 63 total touchdowns. He's a one-time first-team All-Pro in 2010, four-time Pro Bowler. He's an NFL receptions leader back in 2010 as well, and he's in the Falcons Ring of Honor. You know, so his highest statistical year yardage was 2010, where he had 115 catches, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to be a bust his first couple of years. He ended up being a very fun player to watch for the Falcons. I've always had a soft spot for the Falcons because I really liked Dion when I was a kid. Early in fantasy football, I learned a valuable lesson. I saw somebody trade Torrey Holt for Roddy White when Roddy White was, going into like his third year and he didn't do shit his first 2 years. And Torrey Holt, we all know Torrey Holt.
Career. Yeah.
Right. And someone made this trade and I was like, that's a terrible trade. And then within like 2 weeks, I was like, oh shit. That was kind of a learning experience for me, like seeing trades. I remember one year, the first year of this league, somebody traded Matt Castle, and we were all like, that's a terrible trade on the message boards. And then we watched Matt Castle have a nice, solid season after that trade. So sometimes guys see different things from different guys before the rest of us see them. And
Right.
that's why we don't play God with trades anymore and veto trades or vote on them or anything.
Right, because it's like you just, hey, if you think it's good, somebody else might not see the value in that person. Somebody might see the dream that they're looking for, and that's what they're trying to do. And you can't hate on it. Some people might be more tapped into the team than you're tapped in. There's a lot of things, especially as we get older now. We just don't have time to sit here and just glue to every forum to see what every single thing and every single practice and what quarterback's been throwing and who has the hot hand. We don't have time for it. So a lot of times it's, hey, whoever does have time to pay attention to it, pay attention to it.
And nobody knows your team better than you. If you only have one good receiver, but you have 3 awesome quarterbacks, and you take a haircut by trading one of your awesome quarterbacks for like a barely wide receiver 2, you're justified in making that trade. You're not trying to help the other team out. You're trying to save yourself.
Right. Because you can't win. You can't only start one quarterback anyway. So it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? So that's it. It's good to have you back this week, Nick. We'll be back for week 4. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good night.